Heroes of the Forest. This is a game that has kind of flown under the radar for a long time now, and in hindsight, I regret not talking about this game earlier. It's got a lot of things to love, from the decent gameplay to the amazing boss battles, and most importantly, the extremely in-depth lore that is just begging for someone like me to solve. But what is the full story of Hero of the Forest? Well, grab some popcorn and be sure to like and subscribe, because today I will be telling you the entire story of Heroes of the Forest. Now, quick disclaimer, I'm going to kind of say the story how I think it plays out in a more narrative sense, then afterwards give my explanations for the things I say, well, afterwards. This will help me keep things clean and concise, so try not to get up in arms about things I say, and wait until the end to see my reasoning. Anyways, on to the timeline. Our story begins sometime long in the past, long before the forest, long before the events of everything, with an artifact called the Dark Heart, or the Heart of Darkness. Its origins are unknown at this time, but perhaps we'll find out one day. Judging by the name, it seems to have likely belonged to some ancient evil god, but by the time of the story, it's landed on Earth and has been lost to time. At some point in the 1900s, a small town was founded in the outskirts, and soon after, the Forest Surveillance Team, or FST, was founded. One of their first assignments was investigating strange energy readings coming from the forest. Two of the people on this expedition were named Key and Lachlan. Eventually, their team unearths the Dark Heart, but this causes it to awaken, killing many on the team and transforming the normal forest into the magical, misty forest. In this new magical state, guardian spirits of the forest begin to appear, such as Hallie and her family. Key was given a healthy dose of dementia, but Lachlan seemed fine at first. In an attempt to try and fix their mistakes, Key and Locke tried to experiment with the Dark Heart's power to try and escape and save those they lost. But this plan failed. Eventually, Locke got fed up and decided to save the forest from the Dark Heart's influence when it started harming the creatures of the forest. So Lachlan battled the Dark Heart and ended up making a deal with it in order to save the forest. He offered up his soul, sealing the Dark Heart away for 100 years, and peace was briefly restored. Lachlan cemented himself as a legendary hero for years to come. But this, of course, was just the beginning. Following the Dark Heart's defeat, Key, now going by the name Gatekeeper, desperately tried searching for a way out of the woods, putting up cameras to look for ways to escape. Unfortunately, all he discovered was the existence of a new entity, Secret, the evil of the Dark Heart combined with the determination and bravery of Lachlan. And even though at this time he was nothing but a phantom, Secret would slowly become what people feared instead of the source of the evil, the Dark Heart. 100 years is a long time, and facts can be misconstrued. But what else was happening during this time? Murder, lots of it, at the hands of the turtle scientist, who, at some point during the 100 years, began capturing humans, removing their heads, capturing turtles, erasing their memories, and fusing them together. He planned on taking the magic forest for himself, even seemingly making use of Gatekeeper's surveillance rooms in order to keep tabs on the forest at all times, plotting his invasion. However, Secret's return cut his plans short. In the present day, the soul of Lachlan, a person of bravery and courage, reincarnated as the player's character, who is called to the forest to liberate it in its time of need. They are present for the reawakening of Secret and defeat him in his weakest state. But despite this, Secret is still able to burn the forest to the ground. The player is captured by Secret and placed in his dungeon far underground, an old monitoring facility that Lachlan and Key had used, that Secret had turned into his lair. Some time had passed since the player fought Secret. He had grown stronger, and others had tried fighting him, but they all failed. After escaping the prison and facing off against one of their corrupted friends, Movin, our heroes fled to the Turtle Kingdom, where the main character becomes wise to the turtle scientist's plans. After his defeat, the group returns to the surface only to find that Secret had a giant tower constructed in the center of the burned down and corrupted woods. The player ascends the tower and prepares for the final battle, where the story ends for now. Now I'm done narrating. Let's break down some of the claims that I've made to create this tale. Theory number 1, Lachlan is Secret. It's something that is pretty polarizing, but there's lots of evidence for it. For starters, it's important to note that the Dark Heart is all about corruption. We see very clearly in the Plague Doctor masks, which convert the guards and Movin into powerful harbingers of his powers. There's also the corrupted wildlife, and the syringes and the chambers, which all are used for the same purpose, corruption. So it would make sense that Secret himself would also be corrupted, considering the fact that he made a deal with the Darkheart before his subsequent defeat. The statue of the hero of the forest, who is undoubtedly Lachlan, even shows him fighting an orb, not another humanoid. Finally, based on the cutscene that plays after the first boss, it's clear that the Darkheart awakening is the first event in the timeline, not Secret's arrival or defeat. The true villain is the Darkheart, with Secret just being its primary host. Yes, Secret talks about Lachlan, but this could easily just be the heart talking through Secret as a vessel. Finally, Secret is antagonistic to everyone but the Gatekeeper, which could be a sign of his feelings for his old friend outshining any of Darkheart's violent tendencies. Theory number 2, the player is a reincarnation of Lachlan. This one's simple to explain. We know that Lachlan and Key were behind the strange computer rooms seen all around the forest, and when we enter one of these types of rooms, we see the player experiencing the emotions that just aren't their own. The game even calls them out on this. They even question where they're coming from. This could be them receiving premonitions from their previous life as Lachlan. When collecting the bathroom note and the walking stick in the Gatekeeper's house, we can see that the player notes that the stick feels familiar to them. Gatekeeper even alludes to the player reminding them of his old friend, and outright states reincarnation being possible in the bathroom note. Overall, this one's less of a theory and more of something that the game beats you over the head with until you figure it out. Theory number 3, the Darkheart's awakening caused the forest to become magical. We know that the Heart's awakening is the first event in the timeline. Its strange energy readings are what called the FST to begin excavating the heart in the first place. When we see the forest for the first time, nothing about it is magical, and in the present day and in the outskirts, no one seems to date back before the awakening of the heart aside from the Gatekeeper, but these places are filled with spirits. We also know that the heart's magic caused the Gatekeeper to remain alive for over 100 years and take all his memories. All in all, while not being explicitly said, I think this theory makes sense. Theory number 4, the turtle scientist steals FST tech and people from the outskirts. This one's kind of just a silly theory I've come up with, but it actually weirdly makes sense. Before fighting the turtle scientist, we see that he has a storage of human bodies in his lab. We also know that every single turtle person is made this way. We also see a large number of robots patrolling the skies and streets of outskirts, which are all turtle robots, which makes you wonder why they're there. Finally, his lab appears to be built from what looks like FST tech and equipment. He even seems to have access to Key and Locke's old surveillance rooms, and once again, as seen in his lab, where he has pictures of the same areas that are on some of the monitors. And with that, I think I'll end this video off here. This ended up being way longer than I anticipated, but I think it's worth it. There's still some secrets in the game that I want to talk about, but I'll save that for another time. If you enjoyed, be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.